Yo, what's going on with KD? I know Perk was saying Kendrick Perkins was worried the other day, and when you start hearing people who know things, who are close to people, who are around, starting to get worried about a guy's health who hasn't played, you got to take that seriously. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. It's the Max Kellerman Show. What's up, nerds? Coming to you live from the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. Stop me if you've heard this one before. KD didn't play, and James Harden dropped a triple-double. He's scored at least 40 points in over 28% of his triple-doubles. He always has a triple-double, and 1 out of 4 times he has a triple-double, more than that. He's doing it with 40 points. By far the highest in NBA history. Give you an example. David Robinson is second at 14%. James Harden's triple-doubles with 40 points are more than twice as much as a percentage of his triple-doubles than any player in history. Nets win again, tied with the Sixers now. Nets moved to 14-1 in the last 15 games. But let me tell you something. If they don't get KD back, and what's the latest with this now? If they don't get KD back, you got to worry about the Sixers because they're tied with the Sixers because the Sixers lost to the Bucks. The only reason the Sixers lost to the Bucks is not even just that Embiid wasn't playing. That game went into overtime. Sixers would have won. They're playing the second of back-to-back. They don't have their best player, and they're on the second of back-to-back. You see Ben Simmons' defense on Giannis in that game? Simmons, in boxing parlance, it's called man bones. Like, you can have a kid, he's coming up, he's pretty good, he's in, rising contender, but out of the amateurs, he still doesn't have the density of his bones, basically, right? It's like not fully formed. And at a certain point, he has full man strength, right? Simmons is getting there. Simmons used to get pushed around by Giannis. Not anymore. I mean, eventually he did later in the game because he wore down because second of back-to-back. No Embiid back there to erase mistakes. But even with second of back-to-back and Simmons eventually wearing down and having a bad offensive night, and even with turning the ball over, can't score even in the paint, and even with, and obviously you can't shoot, Tobias Harris having an uncharacteristically bad game this year, and even with, Thibault can't score at all, but he can play some defense. Even with Seth Curry not shooting well and then having to leave the game with the ankle. Even with all that, they went to overtime with this team. Well, they gave them a 19-point lead. Stop. They went to overtime. Sixers are better than the Bucks, period. Now, the Bucks just acquired P.J. Tucker. That makes them tougher, too. But if Embiid comes back and KD doesn't, I don't know if the Sixers lose to the Nets. No, I think the Nets beat the Sixers. Sorry, I think the Sixers beat the Nets if Embiid is healthy and KD is not. Now, it also points out if the Nets get everyone back, it's over. You think about that. I'm like, I think without one of the best players ever, probably the Sixers beat the Nets. And that's almost like a hot take. Really? But then you add one of the best players ever. But is he still? I was on First Take last year. We were on the road in 2019. We were not 2020, obviously. We were on the road at Golden State and in Oakland, in the Bay Area. And we were doing a live show, and I was arguing KD cannot play in these finals because he clearly had an Achilles injury. And the team doctor, no, it's not an Achilles, it's a calf. Max, you don't know, you're not a doctor. What, do I need to be a doctor to know what an Achilles injury looks like? You never watch sports? Well, okay, it's just the calf. Well, it's the part of the calf that's attached to the Achilles. In fact, it's the part of the calf called the Achilles. Is the Achilles part of a calf? The point is the calf bone's connected to the Achilles bone, obviously. However that song goes. Isn't that a lyric? And sure enough, just like that, I'm snapping into the microphone like this. Like this had happened. KD out, catastrophic injury. Now, I didn't think KD would get back to playing on the level he's played so far this year because very few people have ever come back from an Achilles as a same level athlete. And it looked like maybe KD did. But did he? Is he still KD? Is he coming back and playing this season? What's going on? Boy, this is getting serious. Meantime, you know what? I've been arguing with Kendrick Perkins so much, both on this show, on the Max Kellerman Show, on ESPN Radio, and ESPN Plus, also on First Take. But listen to Perkins, listen to Kendrick Perkins on this very show from yesterday on the 76ers and the Nets.
I'm going to tell you this. The Philadelphia 76ers, they are not playing any games, okay?
Yep.
They are serious over there. They play agenda-free basketball. Defensively, they are locked in, and they have multiple guys that could get the job done. Tobias Harris is playing phenomenal. Seth Curry is balling. Dwight Howard, the backup center, is coming in, and he's playing outside his mind right now, looking like a young Orlando Dwight Howard. And then you have Shake Milton off the bench. I'm telling you, this Philly team, they're my pick to coming out of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, because you think that something's wrong with KD. Let's be honest about this. Yes, the Sixers are excellent. Defensively, they are a load, and they got guys who can shoot the three ball, and that includes Embiid, by the way, when he gets back. But, Perk, you ain't taking no Sixers over the Nets if KD is healthy. What is going on? Is this like the least reported and discussed story, speculated upon story in sports right now? Is there anything bigger or more important in sports right now on the field of play in terms of how teams function than the fact that quiet is kept, apparently, KD ain't playing? That there may be something really wrong here? Also, notice how all the injuries are with the leg. It's a hamstring, a calf, an Achilles. I am officially worried. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.